You're waiting for proof that it'll work before you start. That's the problem. Not that you're lazy, not that you don't want it. You do. You think about money constantly. You read articles. You watch videos like this one. You know what you should be doing. But you're still waiting. Waiting for the market to stabilize. Waiting until you understand everything. Waiting for a sign that this is the right move. And that waiting, that's what's keeping you exactly where you are. You think rich people saw something you didn't, that they had insider knowledge, that they got lucky with timing, that they started when things were easier, when the economy was better, when opportunities were obvious. And maybe some of that's true, but here's what you don't want to hear. Most of them didn't wait for certainty. They moved without it. They bought rental properties when everyone said real estate was risky. They started businesses during recessions. They invested in index funds when the news said the market was crashing. They did the thing while you were still researching whether it was the right time to do the thing. You think they had an advantage. They did. But the advantage wasn't information. It was tolerance. Tolerance for not knowing if it would work. You're waiting for certainty because uncertainty feels dangerous. And that feeling? That instinct to wait? It's the exact instinct that keeps you safe and poor at the same time. Let me describe your pattern. You get excited about something, a business idea, an investment, a side hustle. You research it, you read about it, you watch tutorials, you join forums, you make spreadsheets, you calculate the risks. And the more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. So you keep learning. You tell yourself you're being smart, strategic, responsible. But really, you're stalling. You wait for the perfect moment, the moment when you have enough saved, when you feel confident, when the risk feels smaller. When someone you trust does it first and it works for them, then you'll do it. Then it'll be safe. But that moment never comes, because certainty doesn't exist. Not in money, not in business, not in anything that actually builds wealth. So you wait. And while you're waiting, you watch other people move. People who know less than you. People who started with less than you. People who didn't wait for permission or proof. And it works for them. Not because they're smarter, because they started. And you? You're still gathering information, still waiting for the signal, still telling yourself soon, just not yet. Here's the truth you already know but won't admit. You don't actually need more information. You need less fear. The reason you wait for certainty is because you've convinced yourself that certainty will remove the fear. That once you know for sure it'll work, you'll be brave enough to do it. But that's backwards. Certainty doesn't create courage. Courage is moving without certainty. And you keep waiting because you think you're being smart, but what you're actually doing is protecting yourself from the feeling of risk. And that feeling, that discomfort, that's not a warning sign. That's the price. Everyone who builds wealth pays it. You're just trying to find a way around it. And there isn't one. You think rich people don't feel that fear. They do. They just don't let it stop them. They don't need to know it'll work. They're okay with the possibility that it won't. You're not. So you wait. And waiting costs you everything. Let me show you what this looks like in 10 years. You're older. Not much has changed. You have more saved, maybe, a little more in your retirement account. You're still working the same job or one like it. Still stressed about money. Still behind where you want it to be. And the worst part, it's not that you failed. It's that you never tried. You spent 10 years preparing to start. 10 years waiting for the right conditions. And the right conditions never came because they don't exist. You'll look back and realize the opportunity was always there. The rental property you didn't buy is worth double now. The index fund you didn't start is up 40%. The business you didn't launch is running successfully for someone else who had your exact idea but didn't wait for permission. And you'll tell yourself it's okay, that you were being cautious, that you were being responsible. But late at night, you'll know the truth. You weren't being responsible.
You were being afraid. And you let that fear dress itself up as patience, as strategy, as wisdom. And now? Now it's not about the money you didn't make. It's about the time you can't get back. The years you spent waiting. The version of your life you could have had if you just moved when you had the chance. That's the real cost. Not failure. Permanent hesitation. You don't need to hear that you can do it. You already know you can. You're smart enough, capable enough. You've done harder things. What you need to hear is this. Nothing is coming to make it certain. No market shift, no perfect plan, no amount of research, no external validation. The fear you're waiting to go away, it doesn't go away. You just decide it's not in charge anymore. And the people who have what you want, they didn't wait for bravery. They acted while they were still scared. They bought the asset, started the business, made the investment. And yeah, some of it didn't work, but some of it did. And that's how you build something. Not by knowing, by moving. You can keep waiting, keep researching, keep telling yourself soon, or you can accept that certainty is a fantasy, that everyone who's ahead of you moved without it, and the only difference between them and you isn't what they knew, it's what they were willing to do before they knew. The choice has always been yours. You've just been pretending it wasn't.